Everybody likes Palm Sunday. In fact, as you know, many traditions, Palm Sunday is a day for family gathering. I know in the Italian tradition, if you can't invite everybody for Easter, invite the other half of the family for Palm Sunday. It's an opportunity for family gathering. But it's also part of our tradition that we do go to church. It's the beginning of Holy Week. And it's the day in which, as you know, Jesus triumphantly entered into Jerusalem surrounded by accolades, only to be crucified a few days later. How quickly fortunes can change. The use of palms, of course, that comes right out of the Bible, right out of the scriptures, because one of the things people did is they started taking palm branches. Palm branches were typically strewn in the path of important people. Like if an emperor came into town in his chariot, they would take palm branches or olive branches, sometimes whatever branches were around, and would strew them on the ground as a sign of respect for this dignitary. Some of us, I think of palms. Palms are actually a sacramental, which means a kind of a thing we use to lead us to the sacraments. In other words, we have ashes on Ash Wednesday. That's a sacramental. Holy water is a sacramental. There's nothing magical about the holy water itself or about the ashes or the palms. I guess I like to think of these sacramentals as kind of like spiritual embroidery. And as a matter of fact, I know many people make little crosses and other objects out of palms and sort of like hang them around dashboard mirrors and sometimes even on a cross itself. Whatever use you wish to make is fine. But remember this, that the purpose of Palm Sunday is to get our attention, to get our focus, and to remember that we have a Lord that, yes, he is truly the King of our hearts, but was not always respected as who he was. And celebrating Palm Sunday, acquiring the palms, reliving the events that happened. We read the Passion of Christ on Palm Sunday, and preparing us to walk with Jesus through Holy Week and to actually put ourselves into that picture. You know, ask ourselves, where would I be in that picture? If I was one of the people in the Bible, who do I feel more like? Those people that we read about during Holy Week. Do I identify with Peter or with Mary Magdalene or with Judas or maybe with Mary herself or St. John at the foot of the cross or one of the other apostles or even Pilate? You know, who do I identify with? Who do I feel closer to? Maybe all of those characters, because I think a lot of the characters in the Bible, for example, you know that Jesus was crucified between two criminals. He was crucified as a criminal, you know, and one of them refused to abandon his ways. He continued to say, you know, like the rest of the cynical crowd, if you're the Son of God, come down from this cross. But the other one knew that Jesus didn't deserve it, but he did, and said, Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And what did Jesus say? This day you will be with me in paradise. So even if you identify as the bad guy or as a criminal or somebody much in need of God's mercy, know that God's heart is big and he's there for you. And he's there to forgive you and to welcome you into his loving arms. Let this Holy Week be an opportunity to come closer to Jesus and to embrace his love, because his love is all-embracing. There is none of us that he will not forgive and lead home to heaven.